Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Soy Hawani. Now today, I wanted to go through how to describe certain things or objects in Spanish depending on the distance between the speaker and the actual thing or object. Why? Because if you saw the previous video, we went through how to say in Spanish, mine, yours, or our, or theirs, for example. So this video will just tie in perfectly on the back of that. So I will leave a link in the description box below. If you haven't seen that video, I'll definitely recommend watching that one first. Alright, let's get into it. Some examples in English. So let's use this for an example, this book of mine. Now in English I would say this book because it's close to me. Okay, so the distance is very close, so I'd say this book in English. However, if you can imagine I was talking about a book that was a little further away from me, then in that case, in English, I would say that book. Okay, so I'd say that book instead of this book because the distance is far greater between the two of us. So that's what we're going to learn to describe in Spanish today. So first, let's go through the singular form and let's go through the chart here. So first up, we've got este, if it's masculine, or esta, if it's feminine. So remember, that's describing things that are close to us. If we're talking about things that are not far from us, but they're not close to us, in that case, we'd use ese or esa, if it's feminine. If we're talking about things that are a fair distance away from us, so if they're far away from us, in that case, we'd use aquel, or if it's feminine, aquella. Alright, so let's use two basic examples. So I've got my book here. Okay, and also directly behind the camera is a window. So in this case, if I wanted to say this book, how would I say that in Spanish? Cool, so we'd say este libro, este libro. Now if I wanted to talk about this window right behind the camera, how would I say that? Cool, it's feminine, so I'd say esta ventana. So esta ventana. Now let me take a few steps back. So let's say I'm on the other side of the room now. Now if I wanted to describe the book, again, how would I say it this time? So it's not far away from me, but it's not close to me. Awesome, in this example, I'd say ese libro, ese libro. How would I say this window? Awesome, so you'd say esa ventana. Cool, so I think you're starting to get the hang of it. Now let's imagine I'm very far away from the window and the book. How would I describe the book if I'm far away? Cool, aquel libro, aquel libro. What about the window? Great, aquella ventana, aquella ventana. Alright, so I think you're getting the hang of that. Now let's go through the plural form. So let's have a look at the chart again. So the plural form first, we've got estos or estas, so estos or estas. If it's a little bit further away but not too far away, we'd say esos, so esos or esas, esas. And again, let's imagine I'm far away from the objects now. The plural form would be aquellos or aquellas, so aquellos or aquellas if it's feminine. So let's use those two examples again. How would I say those books if they're close to me? Cool, so you'd say estos libros. What about those windows, again, if they're close? Estas ventanas, estas ventanas. Cool, and remember if they're a little further away, but not too far away, okay, we'd say esos libros, so esos libros, or esas ventanas, esas ventanas. And again, let's imagine we're far away from those two objects now. In that case, we'd say aquellos libros, so aquellos libros or aquellas ventanas, aquellas ventanas. Alright, cool, so not too difficult, so nice and basic those ones. So again, add these into your Spanish conversation when you're describing the distance between yourself or another person and another object or thing. And again, that'll just help your Spanish sound a lot more fluent and a lot more smooth as well. As always, if you've got any other questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. But apart from that, I will see you in the next one. Hasta pronto.